Now these are the two questions from the last class. The first question, 3x squared minus 5x plus 2, and the second one, y squared minus 3y plus 2. So like I said, these quadratic expressions you must know how to factorize quadratic expressions before you be very sure that you are going to get your questions on algebraic fractions correctly. Otherwise you will be having problems solving them. So now we'll take the first one. So the first one, and then the first step is to multiply the coefficient of the quadratic term. So what is the quadratic term? Now in a quadratic expression we have the quadratic term, which is the term that has the power of 2, and then we have the linear term, which is the term that has the power of 1, and then we have the constant. So the same thing for the second expression, the quadratic term, the linear term, and the constant. So these are the three terms we find in a quadratic expression. Good. So now, knowing that these are the three terms we have in a quadratic expression, now the first step is that you multiply the coefficient of the quadratic term and the constant, multiply them together. So that will give 3 times what? Times 2. The answer is 6. When you are doing the multiplication, you must include the signs. The sign that goes with the number is the sign by the left. So plus 3 times plus 2 gives plus 6. So is this plus 6 that becomes, this plus 6 becomes our key number. Our key number in the sense that whatever thing we are going to be doing now will be with respect to plus 6. It must be relating with plus 6. Whatever thing we'll be doing will be related to what? To plus 6. So you understand that shortly. So now what's the next step? The next step is that you are going to find the factors of this 6. Find the factors of 6. Now when you are finding the factors, you may remove this sign. That will not become necessary. So you remove the sign and you just find the factors of whatever number. Even if it was minus 6, you remove the sign and find the factors. So the factors of 6, you start from 1. 1 into 6 will give 6. Then the next factor that can go without the remainder is 2. 2 into 6 will give 3. Then the next factor that can go without the remainder is what? 3. 3 into 3 gives 1. So the factors are 1 times 2 times 3. This will lead to 6. These are the factors of 6. Now the reason why I asked why it started from 1 is because there are some special numbers where there are some special cases, some special quadratic expressions that you will be given, and you discover that even after you have found the factors, you are trying to add the numbers to get the middle term, which is the linear term. You discover that you'll be having challenges, so you need to involve 1 again. So that is why I just decided to start from 1, so that you will know that whenever we're now bringing 1 in that special case, you will not be surprised and saying, where did the 1 come from? You will know that the 1 is still a factor of that number. So now when we continue from there, remember, like I said, whatever we are doing now is going to be with respect to plus 6, because when we multiply the coefficient of the quadratic term with the constants, we had plus 6. So whatever we are doing is going to be with respect to plus 6. Now that simply means that as we attempt to spread the expression, we want to spread the expression 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. We want to spread it so that it can have 4 terms. Now it has just 3 terms. This is the first term, this is the second term, and this is the third term. It has just 3 terms. We want to spread it so that it can have 4 terms. Then we will now group those 4 terms into 2. Group them in 2s, and then we'll factorize. So that is the overall aim of factorization of a quadratic expression. That is the overall aim of factorizing a quadratic expression. You are going to bring out the factors by spreading the expression into 4 terms, and then you factorize. So when we are going to spread into 4 terms, we are going to achieve that by splitting the middle term into 2. That is the only way to achieve that. We'll split the middle term into 2. Let's say a plus b. We'll split them into 2 terms. That's how we now, at the end of the day, we'll now be having 4 terms. Yes, because the middle term now is now 2 instead of 1. So plus the other 2 terms, one on the left hand side and the other on the right hand side, we now make it 4 terms. So how do we split that middle term into 2 terms? We split into 2 terms by coming back to the factors of that number which we got when we multiply the coefficient of the quadratic term with the constant. That is plus 6. So we come back to the factors of that 6, that number. This time around you can still leave the sign, or come back to the number, and now you look for some of these factors, take the factors and see how you can combine these factors together to give you what you have at the middle of that expression. Here, what we have at the middle of the expression is minus 5x. That's what we're having at the middle of the expression, minus 5x. So now we are going to see how we can combine. We're going to see how we can combine the factors. Sorry for that distraction, please. We're going to see how we can combine the factors here to see how it can give us exactly minus 5. Not any kind of 5, not plus 5. It must be minus 5. The sign must be attached. So that is where sense is become very, very important when dealing with quadratic expression. So the sign is very, very important. So we'll see how we can combine this sum. When I say not even necessarily sum, all of them, there's a way you combine all the factors. All the factors you have brought out, there should be a way you combine all the factors together and to give you minus 5. And of course, that will not be by multiplication. It's going to be by addition or subtraction. So when you want to get the middle term, you don't multiply. You find a way to combine the factors of the number which you got by multiplying by your first step, which you multiplied 3 by 2. That was the first step. So you find a way to combine the factors of that number by addition or subtraction to give you the middle term. So how do we do that now? We can say 1 times 2 is equal to 2. So we can pick this as a single factor, and the other factor is 3. So we pick 2 and 3. No, we pick 2 and 3 because the other factor is 3. So when we pick 2 and 3, what do we now do with 2 and 3? So we have grouped the 1 with 2. It's still okay, you can do it that way. You understand? Or you could have still said, okay, 1 times 3 is 3, and then you will now say, okay, the remaining one is 2. So how do we combine 2 and 3 to give minus 5? Either by addition or subtraction. So let's try addition. 3 plus 2 will give 5. That is not what we want. We need minus 5, not plus 5. This plus 5. So let's try 2 minus 3 will give us minus 1. So just try, keep on trying anything. Just be putting signs. You can put minus here and check if minus 3 plus 2 will give you what you want. If it doesn't work, you can remove that minus. If it doesn't work, you can remove the minus and put a plus. If it doesn't work, you can remove the plus. You can say, okay, let me put a minus here, and let me put a minus here. Let me see if it will work. Or let me put a minus there, and let me put a plus here. Just that is how in any of these things which you do is going to be addition or subtraction, because we have 2 cases of addition and we have 2 cases of subtraction. Actually, you can either subtract by subtracting a smaller number from a bigger number, which is the normal case of subtraction, or you can subtract by having 2 different kinds of signs, minus a plus b. This is another case of subtraction. When you have 2 signs with 2 numbers, 2 different signs, this subtraction. You understand? And we also have 2 types of addition. The first number addition which we have is when you have plus a plus b. That is number addition. The second type of addition we have is when you have 2 negative signs. 2 negative signs together with 2 numbers. So but the difference in the 2 cases is that here when you add, you take a plus sign with your answer. Here when you add, you take a negative sign. So in any of these things you do, you are either adding or subtracting. So that is why I said it's going to be by addition or subtraction, not multiplication. Multiplication is out of it here. So when you are looking for the middle term, you don't do multiplication, you do addition and subtraction. So you just put sense, play with sense, put sense across, the two numbers, 2 factors which you have selected. Put sense beside them to see if it's going to give you what you want. So from here now, we see that minus 3. Remember our numbers are 3 and 2. So minus 3 minus 2 will give minus 5. So we are almost there. We have gotten minus 5 now. That is good. So we are almost happy. But one more thing before we become happy. these two numbers which we have added, right? This addition, this not subtraction, this addition, we have added now. These two numbers that we have added, can we multiply them just the same way we fix their sign? Can we still multiply them like that? And it will take us back to that plus 6. This is where the plus comes into play. When you multiply the coefficient of the quadratic term with the constant that you did in the first step, this is where that plus. I said you must take the sign, but when you want to factorize, you can remove the sign. But when you are now coming back to test which of the numbers will come into the expression, the plus will now come back. That is where it's functional. So we'll now see if we are saying minus 3 times minus 2, if it will give us plus 6. If it does, then these two numbers are good to go. Of course, it will give us plus 6 because minus times minus is plus. 3 times 2 is 6. So this will give us plus 6, and minus 3 minus 2 gives minus 5. So that means that minus 3 and minus 2 are qualified to enter into the expression. 3s squared minus 5s plus 2. So now we are replacing minus 5x with those two numbers, minus 3 and minus 2. So we are going to add the variable x to the two numbers. Therefore, we'll be having 3s squared minus 3x minus 2x. You write it exactly the way the signs we attach to them. Then the fourth step is that we are going to group this new expression into two parts. Make sure that no sign is outside the bracket. Let all signs be inside the bracket, and that way it means that a sign must be attached to this term. Either a plus or a minus sign must be attached to that term in that bracket. Right? Hope that is clear. So there should be no sign outside here. There should be no sign. The sign must come into the bracket. So next, factorize each bracket one after the other. To do that, you start from the first bracket and check what term is common here, or what number is common. Now we have 3s common. Now you must take the highest possible number that can go into the two terms in that bracket. Don't say 1 is common. Do you know that 1 is common? You can use 1. We could have used 1x or x, but we won't use 1. Why? Because 1 is not the highest common factor. We are looking for the highest common factor. You did HCF before. Highest common factor simply means the highest number that can go into this term, and that highest number will still go into this term. Now if I take any number that can go into this term but it's too small or it's too big to go into this one, that number is not a common factor. So I must find a way to look for the highest number that can go into the two of them, and of course that highest number is 3. The highest number is not just 3 but 3x, right? Okay, so since the highest number is 3x, so what we are going to do is that we are going to bring 3x out, and then I'm going to start dividing. So 3x, first of all, we go into 3s squared. You can do that on your rough sheet. 3s squared divided by 3x. S cancels out one of the x, leaving us with 1. 3 cancels 3, so x is left. The sign we also divide. Plus into minus, because it's plus 3x we brought out, not just 3x, right? Plus into minus is what? Minus. Now 3s into the other 3x will give what? Give 1. So we are having on your rough sheet 3x divided by 3x. S cancels s, 3 cancels 3 to give 1. So we have 1. We are done with that bracket. So hope that is clear. So now we go to the next bracket, and then you find the highest common factor. So what will be the highest common factor? So you can check it now and just say it before I begin to write it. So the highest common factor there is going to be what? 2. because 2 can go into this and also go into this. If we say 2x can go into this, fine, but 2x will not go into this because there is no x here. So for that reason, the highest common factor is what? Is 2. Now you always take the sign that is attached to the first term. The sign attached to the first term is a minus. This is the first term in the bracket. Sorry for that. This is the first term in the bracket. So you always take the sign attached to the first term. So for that reason, we will take what? Minus 2. And minus 2 into 2 minus 2x. On your rough sheet, this side will be minus 2x divided by 2. So we have plus here. Plus into minus is what? Okay, sorry. No, it's not plus 2x, it's minus 2x. You understand? Because it's minus 2x that is outside. So we are dividing minus 2x by what is outside, right? So it's minus 2x divided by minus 2. So minus into minus will give what? Plus. So fail for the other sign. Then 2 into 2 will give what? 1. We are left with what? X. Now, the sign outside again will go into the sign inside. Minus into plus is what? Minus. Then we will now say minus 2 into plus 2, which you have here. Minus 2 into plus 2. Plus into minus is what? Minus 2 into 2, 1. So that eventually we should be having the same thing in both brackets. We should be having what? The same thing in both brackets. So if what we're having in both brackets is not the same, something is wrong with the solution, you go back and check what went wrong. So we should have the same thing in both brackets. So since we're having plus x minus 1 here and plus x minus 1, we are correct. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to take 1. We're going to take 1. We have x minus 1, so we'll choose one of them. 1, 2, we'll choose 1. So when we choose 1, we'll write it out. X minus 1. So how do we get what will be in the next bracket? We'll go to what is outside of the two brackets. So we'll come here, starting from the first one, take that 10. Then before you take the second one, with the sign minus 2. So if, for example, here was only 2, if, for example, here was 2, what would have been the sign here? The sign would have been plus 2. You take the sign. So since it's minus, that is, it's minus that is here. So that is why we're having minus here. So we call this the factor of that expression. So this is the answer. So now you are going to solve the second example, which is y squared. Second example is y squared minus 3y plus 2. Use the same method and solve it. Let's make sure we get factorization very well. At least we can get one thing. You know that this aspect of factorization now of quadratic expression is a done deal.
You are on a journey, the journey of life. Life is a journey to eternity. So even while learning, you have to be sure that you are prepared for eternity with God in heaven. Yes, eternity is real, and Jesus Christ wants you to live and spend your eternity with Him. And therefore, you cannot take the message of your salvation for granted. Have you given your life to Jesus? If not, then you must consider it, because without your life being given to Jesus, you can't enjoy a blissful eternity with Christ in heaven. I'm encouraging you, even while learning, to be conscious of where you will spend your eternity. Jesus Christ loves you and loves you so much, and He wants you to spend your eternity with Him in heaven. Will you waste His love? He has died for you already. All you have to do is to surrender your life to Jesus, and He will lead you through in the journey of life. We love you at DT Learning Institute. Stay blessed and do well to get our other lectures learn, and get prepared for eternity. Stay blessed.